started. The call to order this regular meeting of the Rushford-Peterson School Board. It is Monday, May 16th, 2016, 5:30 p.m. here on the Rushford-Peterson High School Biology Room. We have Director Miro is appearing via Skype from the Air Force Lodging in Minot, North Dakota. Dean, are you reading this loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Great, great. Okay, if we could have a roll call, please.
Valerie Howe.
Here.
Joyce Iverson.
Here.
Julie Cope. Here. John Linder.
Here.
Dean Miro.
Here.
Taylor Peterson. John Pettit.
Thank
Sarah
you.
Weezer. Here.
Item 3, adoption of the agenda. Do we have any additions?
Yes, I have one addition. Please add item number 12. Talk about the Minnesota Rural Education Association has come out with some educational policies that we want to make you aware of, and so I just want to share those with you this evening, and then recommend that you read those over and take the opportunity to contact your local legislators. So item number 12 would be to explore and discuss the MRAA new education policies.
Okay, with that addition, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Iverson, is there a second?
Cole second.
Second by Coe. All those in favor of adopting the agenda, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Carries. Moving on to item 4, public comments heard limited to 5 minutes. Do you have anyone wishing to address the board? Not tonight, I guess. Moving on to item 5, new school progress update. Tim Robertson of ICS Consulting. Mr. Robertson, do you have anything you want to give us tonight?
I'll just give you a quick status update. We had no change orders this week, or this month, so no financial aspects are growing or diminishing at this point. Everything is moving rather well. The weather last week with a little bit of rain is offsetting with all the sun this week, so they are picking up speed already for Monday, and it's anticipated to have a bunch of the interior leveled out and finished out so they can actually start putting interior slabs in place. The footprint of the entire building, all of the foundation work is done around the entire perimeter. The walls, all the precast walls are stood up except for roughly 4 of them for strategic entrance and exit for the heavy equipment. Those are going to be put in place within the next week to 10 days. But everything you see there is pretty much what the outline of the building is going to appear to be. In the elementary gym, the roof is already in place, and so it's effectively dried in. The ballast is already up there, the rock on top of the actual membranes, that's already set up. They're cutting in the roof drains, so it'll actually be a finished unit, and they're going to start storing some of their more sensitive materials, just start using that area for their growth inside the building. The gymnasiums are going to be just lockdowns or the lay down areas for all the interior product, so when they start looking at it, that's going to be their shakeout areas. But talking with the contractors on our bi-weekly meetings, which kind of operate opposite of these, we have no issues with anything like a champ right now.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Robertson? Good. Thanks. Appreciate it. Moving on to item 6, the consent agenda. We have board meeting minutes from last month located on pages 4 and 5. We have April hand payables, wires, and payroll liabilities in the amount of $256,363.63, located on pages 6 through 8. April payroll in the amount of $248,881. May board bills in the amount of $2,848,798.85, located on pages 9 through 13. And we have a couple personnel actions. Resignation of Haley Wojan, food service, as of June 3rd, 2016. resignation of Courtney Hoffman, ECFE teacher as of June 3rd, 2016. The hire of Sarah Meyer, a long-term sub for Jake Dahl, who will be filling in for Dina Matheson. Any comments or questions on the consent agenda?
I will just point out to the board on the resignation of Courtney Hoffman. Courtney was and is our early childhood special ed teacher. She is, that position requires like a .82, and then for the ECFE, that made her a full-time position. And as a result of just the her desire to have her Fridays off, because she would normally teach the ECFE classes on a Friday, so that will not be included in her contract next year. So once we move forward with that, so just wanted you to be aware of how that currently works into our personnel.
Okay, any comments on the consent agenda? Not, look for a motion to approve.
We'll make a motion to approve.
Cool. So second,
Second by Howe.
by Howell. Any other discussion on item 6, the consent agenda? Not, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving on to item 7, old business. We have the approval of the second reading and adopt the following policies. Number 208, development, adoption, and implementation of policies. Number 209, the code of ethics. 210, conflict of interest. Number 306, administrator code of ethics. 403, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of school district employees. And 404, employment background checks. Everybody get a chance to look at that, and that was last month. We had our first look at it. Anybody have any comments or concerns?
I think it just, one quick comment, I think it was helpful to see the red line changes that Laura added, so that was helpful. That's all I have.
Yep, no, I agree, thanks. Any other comments? We'll look for a motion to approve the item 7, the old business, approve the second reading and adopt the policies.
Miro will make that motion.
Miro, motion by Miro, is there a second?
Second by Howe.
Second by Howell. Any other comments? Not, all those in favor of item 7, approving the second reading and adoption of the policies, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving on to item 8, new business. We have the first reading of the following policies. Number 421, gifts to employees and school board members. 511, student fundraising. 701, establishment and adoption of the school district budget. 701.1, the modification of the school district budget. 702, accounting. 702.1, fiscal management goals and objectives and financial ethics. 702.2, state and federal revenue sources. Any comments after looking at that? Joyce, I believe you had a couple of comments on.
Yes, it has to do with policy number 421, and then 702.24, and just kind of coordinating that language. In the first paragraph, under general statement of policy, if we were to include the language that is in 702.24B, employees, board members, and agents of the district, would that include everyone in paragraph F, 421, section 2?
Okay.
So instead of just including school district employees here, include employees, board members, or agents of the district.
District.
And then there's the term donors used, and also an interested person. I'm looking at, in paragraphs A, E, and E, and in 702.2, paragraph, or no, section 4, paragraph A, it uses the term donors. F used in an interested person, and that's the term that is defined in 421. So my suggestion would be to use the term that's defined interested person instead of donors. Because we're talking about gifts to an individual rather than to the school. And in paragraph A, if I could just suggest the kind of reorganizing that language there, starting with the middle of the third line, to discourage gift giving to employees, and instead to encourage the writing of letters and notes of appreciation. And then the end of that sentence. At the end of paragraph D there, I'm wondering if the last sentence in paragraph C should also be added to paragraph B. So it refers to gifts of greater than nominal value. In that sentence, the superintendent has discretion to determine what value is greater than nominal. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
That way it's going to be. And with the inclusion of board members or agents of the district in paragraph A, can we eliminate paragraph F? Because essentially that says that everyone is subject to this policy, is that correct?
That would be correct, yes.
And then using interested persons in 702.2, section 4A, to encourage interested persons instead to write letters.
If it would please the board, we'll take Joyce's recommendations and then add them in and put them in a different color so that you can ascertain what it is that she's recommending here this evening.
Well, that's fine.
We have those ready for next month.
Okay, with those comments, any other comments, concerns? If not, I'd ask for a motion to approve the first reading of the policies with the suggested changes. Motion by Cole, second.
I'll second.
Second by Howell. Any other comments or concerns? Okay, with that, all those in favor of approving the first reading of the policies with the suggested changes, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Moving on to item 8.2 of new business. Approve the summer adult meal price of $3.80 effective on the 6th of June. On page 14, there was some discussion on that. Do you have any questions about that? Not, for a motion to approve item 8.2.
make a motion to approve.
Motion by Hall,
Copeland, second.
second by Coe. All those in favor of item A2, approving the summer adult meal price of $3.80 effective June 6th, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 8.3, approve the list of graduates for the RP class of 2016, listed on page 27. Is that list current, Mr. Ayler?
I will ask Mr. Tim if everyone so far is in good standing at this point, as far as you know.
As far as I know, they are.
Everybody's on progress here to be successful in completing the necessary work required for their diploma.
Good. Okay, look for a motion to approve the list of graduates.
Copeland, make a motion to approve.
Motion by Coe, is there a second?
I'll second Iverson.
Second by Everson. All those in favor of item 8.3, approving the list of graduates for this year, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 4, 8.4. Approve the school board scholarship recipients, $500 each for Clara Weiser and Kate Plunkett.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Iverson. Second.
Copeland, second.
Second by Cole. All those in favor of approving the scholarship recipients, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Does Ms. Lisa want to make any speech on that or anything?
Anything to add?
Just thank you for giving me, I'm really hoping I see her in the years to pay for my education.
Where are you going to school next year?
Mankato, for
Okay.
elementary education.
Okay. Well deserved. Putting up with us, so she should get paid for that alone.
Yeah.
Moving on to item 5, 8.5, approve the resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contract of Courtney Hoffman, which requires a roll call vote. Anything you want to add to that, Mr. Ayler?
Each year, we're required by statute to move forward with ULA, which is an unrequested leave or termination, non-renewal, because of the fact that these teachers are teaching on a discretionary variance, so it's required by statute.
And will we re-advertise that?
We will, yes, we will advertise the position, and within, hopefully by next month, we will have a recommendation brought back to you.
Copeland, make a motion.
Motion by Coe. Is there a second?
Second Iverson.
Second by Iverson. Do you have any comments or discussion on item 8.5? All those in favor of approving the resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contract? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead for the roll call.
Valerie Howe,
Aye.
Joyce Iverson,
Aye.
Julie Cope. Aye. John Linder,
Aye.
Dean Mero,
Aye.
Taylor Peterson, John Pettit.
Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 6, similar situation, approve the resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contract of Tracy Smith. Again, is that the same situation, Mr. Ayler?
It is. Tracy is currently serving as our speech and language instructor and has done a nice job and is working on securing her endorsement for reading. And again, she is currently holds a discretionary variance, which means that state recognizes that she's working towards her certification, but at the same time, we're required by statute then to do a non-renewal and advertise the position. If we don't find anyone, we're within our rights then to offer that position back to these individuals.
Okay, we'll look for a motion on the item 6.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Hall, second?
Cope will second.
Second by Coe. Any other discussion or comments? If not, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Mallory Howe,
Aye.
Joyce Iverson,
Aye.
Julie Cope, aye. John Linder,
Aye.
Dean Miro.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to 8.7, approve the hiring of Clifton Larson Allen LLP to complete the audit of the 2015-2016 fiscal school year. Anybody have any questions on that? We have a proposed contract here, if anybody wants to review it.
It's an annual thing that we do to secure their firm as auditors for the school district. So again, we just need your approval to move forward with that and get things in place.
Anybody have any questions?
It's the same one we've been using. so
Correct, yes.
As long as there hasn't been concerns, Cope will do the motion.
Motion by Coe, is there a second?
I'll second Iverson.
Second by Everson. All those in favor of approving item 8.7, approving the hiring of Clifton Larson Allen LLP for the audit for the 2015-16 fiscal school year, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Could I just make a note there?
Oh, sure.
I looked up in the minutes when we voted to do an RFP for the 2016-17 school year. So that vote was for doing that this fall.
Correct.
So that would be ready in January to make a decision.
Correct.
So I'll clarify that.
Thank you for, yeah.
Next item of new business, 8, is approve and authorize Superintendent Ayler to advertise for red quotes for the 2016-17 school year. Anything you want to add to that, Mr. Ayler?
Just so that you know that in the past, we haven't had to involve the board in that because we were successful in working through the Southeast Service Cooperative. They served as the vendor for all of the area school districts. However, the firms that they've been working with are no longer willing to do that, so they are requiring individual school districts to go out and secure their own vendors for red for the school year.
Do you have any questions about that situation, red quotes? Not, I look for a motion to approve the authorization for Superintendent Ayler to advertise for quotes.
I'll make some motion.
Motion by Howe. Is there a second?
Second, Iverson.
Second by Everson. All those in favor of authorizing Superintendent Ayler to advertise for bread quotes for the upcoming school year, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 8.9, approve the 2015-2016 budget revisions.
And Tony has provided you an update in front of you this evening, and we'll just able to get to Dean before.
I did send an email.
Okay, so Dean, hopefully you've had a chance to check your email, but Tony, I'll turn that over to you and ask you to walk the board through the changes.
I'll stand over here. This is just some budget changes and only on 2 funds, so it's the sheet with the little red. We're only gonna look at 2 funds tonight. And yes, the numbers are large for our capital projects fund, but there wasn't a lot as far as lines to look at because basically we're paying, a lot to the main construction vendor. So when we budgeted back in June, we budgeted $15 million for the expenditures. And looking at what we have spent so far and what we are going to spend the next couple months, we're going to adjust that budget down to $12,700,000. And then on the revenue side, we didn't budget any interest income or any revenue from our investments that we have currently. But looking at our activity through the end of April here and our next 2 months, we're probably going to be around $190,000 in revenue from our investments for the year. So those are the two changes that we'd like to make in total to the revenue and expenditures for the capital projects fund. You'll see in the revised budget on the bottom there, those are the new numbers, and then our fund balance is projected to be at the end of 15-16 for the capital projects fund, that 24.7 million. Now, the debt service is also listed, but we're making no changes to the budget, adopted budget for the debt service fund. Those numbers are pretty well set by what the property tax revenue was and what our payments were for debt service, so. Any questions about those?
Do you have any questions about the budget changes proposed? I look for a motion to approve the revisions of the 2015-16 budget.
We'll make a motion.
Motion by Coe. Is there a second?
Second by Hal.
Second by Al. Is there questions or comments? All those in favor of approving the revisions to the budget for 2015-16 as outlined? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 810, approve Superintendent Ayler as the identified official with authority for MDE's secure website access. This is something we do every year, I understand.
Correct. The state of Minnesota requires someone to be in charge of identifying who has access to certain data. And so I am that individual, or your superintendent is designated as that person. So I'm asking for your approval to be the person with that authority.
Hal makes a motion.
Motion by Howard, is there a second?
Second. Iverson, second. Second. Go ahead.
Second by Anderson. All those in favor of item 810, approving Superintendent Ayler as the identified official with authority for the MDE secure website access, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 11, authorize Superintendent Ayler to secure quotes to complete the covering of the middle school gym exterior with sheet metal. This is something we addressed over a year ago. There was some information on page 17. And, Mr. Ayler, any?
Just comment, I think, I'd like to make a motion to table it, given the current situation with pending lawsuits, until we have a little more clarity on that.
Okay. There is a motion to table by Miro. Is there a second?
Hal, second.
Second by Howell. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, Dean. That's probably not the time to be doing this, so we'll see what happens there in the future. So, anybody else have any comments?
Nope, I'm very supportive of that motion as well, and I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention, that was something that you had approved back a year ago, and so I understand the need to go ahead and give us some time, so I can support that as well.
Anybody else have any comments on item 11? There is a motion to table item 11 on securing quotes. All those in favor of tabling the issue signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. That item 11 is tabled. Moving on to next item, superintendent's report.
We've got the additions to the.
Item number 12.
You're right, I'm sorry. Item 12 is Minnesota Rural Education Association.
Yeah. I received that document today, and Joyce shared it with me as well before the start of tonight's meeting. But Minnesota Rural Education Association has put together a kind of a spreadsheet so that you can have an idea of the various educational issues that are in front of the legislature at this time. It shows who is supporting what on each one of the documents, and I would ask that you take a look at that. I will send that out via email to you and ask you to contact your area legislators and ask them to continue supporting the movement of the legislative issues as they're outlined by MREA. Joyce, anything you want to add?
There was suggested that this list be referred to working groups.
Correct. Yep.
If you're going to do anything, you do it quickly, because they adjourn on Friday. So,
I'm scheduled to adjourn.
scheduled to adjourn. I don't think they can go over. I think that's statutorily required, so
Yeah.
this would be the week to do it.
So I will send that thing out, that document out to you first thing tomorrow morning, so you have a chance to look at it. And would encourage you, as Joyce has indicated as well, to ask our elected officials, Representative Davids and Senator Miller, and Representative Jean Pulowski, to make that a part of the working group, so that they can, it's basically asking them to keep it open so that there can be ongoing discussions by the legislature. Thank you, Joyce, for bringing that to my attention this evening, and to the board's attention.
I don't think we need a motion on that. Can we do that individually on our own?
Correct.
Okay, next, moving on to the superintendent's report, pages 18 through 20. Taylor?
Thank you. Just a couple of notes here. Congratulations, first of all, to the junior and senior prom. Don't mean to steal Mr. Tim's thunder tonight, but very well done this year, and Angela Shepard, along with others, served as the chaperones to oversee that. Mr. Tim had a conflict, was not able to be there, but everything ran smoothly, and I'm extending a special note of thanks to Mrs. Ingen for her leadership and guidance as she was the prom advisor, and also to the junior prom committee. I felt that they did an outstanding job on the decorations and just making it a special evening for all that attended. So, congratulations to them on an excellent job. Also extending a note of congratulations to our FFA members. As you see, we had a number of those that participated in the state FFA convention. Our horse team placed 18th overall, and congratulations to Owen Smith. He received his state FFA degree and is now eligible to go on and apply for a national FFA degree. The dairy evaluation team placed 12th overall, and Tanner Morrison out of the dairy judging team came in first place as the overall individual champion, and he now moves on to national competition this fall. So, wish to extend my congratulations to the FFA members. I attended their banquet on Sunday, and again, congratulate the seniors and the entire organization on a very successful year this year. So, also congratulations to our music department. They're finishing up tonight with a concert at 7 o'clock, the vocal music, but the elementary concert was held on Monday, April 25th. Again, we had a great performance. Mrs. Ingen and Mr. Svensson did an outstanding job with our elementary students, as well as the 5th and through 12th grade band. Last week, on Monday, May 9th, they had their final instrumental concert, and again, very well attended. A special note of thanks to Sonia Cook for accompanying Kate Clunfit, who performed her solo during the concert that evening. And again, a special note of thanks to Mr. Svensson, as this was his final concert of the year, so he ended things on a very positive note, and we congratulate him on a very rewarding and fulfilling career as well. Mr. Tim will more than likely talk to a little bit briefly about the senior awards banquet, but that was held last night, and again, well attended, and everything ran very smoothly. Special note of thanks to Mr. Tim, Mrs. Hilgamo, and Angie Rudenberg for making sure that everything was in place, and the night went on without any hitches, so we're very pleased with everyone's contributions for that. I don't want to leave out Dan. Dan was in attendance as well and made sure that all of our athletic awards were presented as well, and making sure that we didn't miss anyone, and so my thanks to Dan as well. Donations, this month we were the recipients of a $500 donation by the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association, and that money has been designated for the trap shooting team. Couple notes of thank you. Nadine Tunstall, Experience Work. Nadine has served as a teacher assistant, and I apologize, I only listed her for 2 years, and she's actually been with us for 4 years. She was placed in the district through Experience Work, and this agency helps individuals such as Nadine gain individual job skills and helps them secure full-time employment. And Nadine has accepted a position that will create for her a full-time position. So we're very happy for her, and we're very grateful and appreciative for her help and assistance during the past 4 years. Also this month was Administrative Professional Days on Wednesday, April 27th, so we extended our thanks to our administrative assistants, and I've listed them there for you to read through. Again, they are essential to our continuous abilities to have things run smoothly on a daily basis, so we're very appreciative of their efforts. Teacher Appreciation Week was May 1st through the 7th, and Teacher Appreciation Day was Tuesday, May 3rd, and we feel that we're very blessed with a great teaching staff, and we took the opportunity to recognize them and make them aware of how much we value their teaching and their abilities to relate to our students. The MCAs and ACT testing has been completed. Special note of thanks to Mr. Mattson, Mr. Beverdorf, Mrs. Hogemo, and kitchen staff for providing the snacks. And again, with everyone's cooperation and assistance, the testing requirements went very well this year. All of that is done online, so it's going to be a little hairy to make sure that everything is functioning well, and they were very successful in making that happen. Special note of thanks to the Rushford Lutheran and the St. Joe's churches for allowing us to use their facilities to meet the testing requirements for the ACT test and the advanced placement testing. So we were able to use their facilities, and we're very appreciative of their willingness to assist us with that. The new school update, as Tim has already indicated to you tonight, things continue to move on in a very positive venue there, and we're pleased with the success and just how everything is moving forward and the progress that they're making. Just wanted you to be aware on the repurpose and reuse of the elementary and high school buildings. David Kane presented to the veterans group here in Rushford last week about coming up with some options for use of our facilities, and they haven't come up with a formal title of it, but it is to help facilitate veterans as they transition back into civilian life, and so we're continuing to have ongoing conversations and discussions with that, and I'm very pleased that that initiative is being put out there, and there are ongoing conversations about that, so very pleased with that. And we'll see what comes as far as any future plans. Other than that, just a quick note to Val. It's my understanding you were selected by HFAD as the chairperson of the advisory committee, is
Yep.
that right? So you're the chairperson for that committee, so congratulations. I know you'll do well. You'll serve well in that committee. So, on that note, just to let you know that our annual monthly meeting for June is June 20th at 5:30 p.m. So that is my report. Be happy to entertain any questions you might have.
Mr. Taylor, would, on Mr. Svensson's, we have a letter, a board letter of appreciation for all
We
of
do.
his years of service?
Yes, we do.
Good. And is he the only teacher retired?
He is our only retiree this year, yes. He will be recognized at graduation ceremony as well.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Taylor? Community Ed report, pages 21 through 22.
Lisa's not able to be with us this evening, so I'll just briefly go over some of the things that are there. So I'd ask you to take a look at the spring, summer, and youth enrichment programs. And again, she's just outlining a variety of things that have gone on and a variety of things that are forthcoming here during the summer months. And again, my thanks to Lisa and her staff for just the efforts that go into making sure that everything gets properly scheduled and planned for. And that applies to the summer youth recreation. She is, and her staff are working, again, very hard to get all the signups in place and get things up and running for summer activities. And again, we're very blessed to have a variety of activities that can appeal to a number of students, and so they do an excellent job of making sure that there are activities planned for our students throughout the summer months. And then she talks about adult enrichment recertifications, and as well as Kid Club highlights for the month. And then the Willoughby preschool, we have been successful in securing our Pathways to Early Learning scholarships for next school year. So my congratulations to Mrs. Lawson and her staff again for making sure that that paperwork is completed in a timely manner, submitted to the state, and so we have an official notification that they have been approved for that amount. So very appreciative again of that. And the Willoughby preschool graduation is coming up on next Wednesday, May 25th at 6:30 p.m. in the high school gym. And then under ECFE, she talks about the daddy-daughter dance that was held on Sunday, May 1st. And again, very successful outing. They had 85 individuals that participated in that event. And she is also making you aware that we are the recipients of the Book Start grant this year, offered by Smith, and so we will receive 100 early childhood books, and they're scheduled to be here in June of this year for the next school year. So my thanks to Lisa and her staff again for making sure that that necessary paperwork was completed and submitted. So that's Lisa's report.
Questions on the community ed report? I think we lost Director Miro. But moving on to the elementary and middle school report.
It will show Wayne if he's online, but he's not online.
He's not online.
Okay.
So we can't try calling him.
Sure. He did say he had to leave early, but I thought it was 6:30, but maybe.
They'll look into that. If he shows up with a little green check mark, we'll try to get him back.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mrs. Shepherd, ready?
Yes, thank you. We had Ned Show come in this past week, and is never give up, encourage others and do your best. And when he came in, there was he was blowing up balloons and making little animals out of them. And so as the kindergarten through fourth grade students came in, they were excited immediately. We had their attention. Part of this show is using a yo-yo, and so he had all kinds of tricks like that, and they were excited about that. He talked about being respectful and responsible students, and we had, as I looked up in the bleachers at these students, they were all smiling and laughing, and the teachers were doing the same. They were excited about this program, and he had just a lot of really good, it was just a wonderful message throughout this whole program. This program is a free show, but it's a pay-it-forward kind of a program, so we agreed to not pay the initial part and then try to sell yo-yos afterwards. So the next 5 days, we had yo-yos available for the students to buy if they chose. And there were tricks to make in that. And the first day, we had the kids practicing in the lunchroom, and you had the kids promise, you're not going to shoot them out this way, shoot them that way. If you want to start doing the real fancy stuff, you can do it at home. And the kids, one little boy came back, my yo-yo is broke. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, what's wrong? And he goes, it doesn't do all those things. I said, oh, here's a special sheet. It has all the tricks. There's a website you can go on. And, oh, I said, it just takes practice. So there's a lot of kids that have never touched a yo-yo. So I'm thinking, and then several days later, I had different parents saying that it was a really great thing that the kids were learning how to do that. And I remember using yo-yo as a child. It was just fun, and so a lot of good things from that. We've wrapped that up since, and we did sell enough yo-yos, so we'll get some money back and be able to get some more positive things to share with the students and the teachers. So that was fun. We have the different field trips coming up, the DARE graduation in Preston this year. Memorial Day program this year will be a K-5. We'll have K2, I think, and 3-5 in this that will come to present to the students this year, all of them. So it was a nice thing. I attended last year. It was nice to see them talking about the flag and holding the flag, and so that's a positive. I believe it's going to be outside if it's nice that day on the 24th. Field day, we brought that back this year. Mrs. Brown agreed to set it up and run it, and Joyce is going to provide, I gave her heads up far enough in advance, so she'll have little bags for the students with the sandwich and chips and apples, and eat down at the park, and they can walk down. Mrs. Brown also secured around 12 high school students, which will be nice, so they can walk around with with the students, and the teachers can stay in one specific area. So a lot of staff, we did not do it last year, and a lot of staff asked me about it this year, and I had already talked to Mrs. Brown about it, so it was nice to hear that the teachers were excited to have it back as well. Let's see. Another big thing I want to bring up, I saw Sue Hoff today, and the last thing about the financial backing with the PI, which is Partners in Education. And Mr. Tim and I both encouraged our staff to put in little mini grants with this PI organization. And she sent me the email, and I guess she said around 10,000. Well, we had 26 grants written this year by our staff, which is preschool and kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, title program, physical education, 6th grade, 8th grade, and many from high school, 5 from the high school. And Sue was very excited that everybody used this opportunity. And it turns out with all of these, it was $9,782.46 from the PI group for PI grants. So instead of coming through like the school budget, and we do have our chip shop is where the money comes from for this. So when school starts, a couple weeks in, we'll have a presentation, and then the elementary they sell, and that's where that funding comes from. And Sue was very excited about it, and I said, wow, this is awesome, great. And she goes, there's a lot of, kind of simple things, some of them, but and I can get you a list of all of them if you'd like, but it was just nice that the teachers took the time to fill out the paperwork to get this money for, through the PI organization. Like I said, Sue said, not much is really said about this, but she goes, it's really great, she goes, and it's nice because the community really does support it, and that's where it comes from. So she was excited too, and I am too. So, and that's what I have. Any questions?
Questions for Mr. Shepherd? Thank you. Mr. Tim?
Thank you, John. Looking at the middle goal there, advanced placement testing, kind of the season of testing, we had all the MCA tests, ACT test was late April, then we had some of the AP tests in early May here. And just a number of students are taking advantage of the AP test. They get the results back, and based on the score they get on that determines if they can get some college credit or not. They bring that to the college and present that to those students. So our teachers work real hard they have to go to some conferences in the summer. They have to submit their syllabuses, submit kind of the course of what they're going to teach to make sure, and then they kind of teach it throughout the year. The students take a test to see what they get for credit on that. Next year's schedule is complete, and we were working with Southeast Tech again to offer some of those concurrent enrollment classes where our students can get both college credit and high school credit at the same time. Concurrent enrollment classes next year would be human biology, sociology, pre-calculus, stats, English 12, and AP Lit. Our 3 advanced placement classes next year are AP Lit, AP Bio, and AP Psych. Our 4 classes for articulation that we work with Southeast Tech too, and those classes normally just kind of count at Southeast Tech, they might not count other schools, are egg welding, intro to college algebra, advanced algebra, and then English 12 works as kind of both. And then we have our 1 NOCTI class, which is child development, and that's kind of similar to the advanced placement. They take a test, and that one's based on more of the CTE, the career and technical education type courses there. schedule is, put together based on what we have from students, see we can open as many, and we've also partnered some more with Southeast Tech to expand our online in the high school college offerings. We used to have, 2 or 3 classes each semester that our kids could take that were reserved just for high school students, that were college credits and taught by Southeast Tech staff, but it was all online. What they had noticed, and Southeast Tech is so great to work with, Red Wing kind of brought it up to them that a lot of kids were leaving and walking across the street to do PSEO, the option there, or going to Winona State or something like that, so they wanted to work, how could they do it differently? So they've opened up pretty much all of their online classes to the high schools, and they can take them as a contracted PSEO, they call it. So we still pay for the class like we do for our online classes, but instead of a student leaving, going PSEO, and us losing all the funding on it, we get to keep the funding here and then pay for the class. So Mrs. Hudman and I went through, kind of picked the classes that we'd like to offer, put a lot of prerequisites on it, so it just kind of expands those offerings. If a student's really into, early education, child development stuff, if they've already taken child development with Mrs. Thompson, it gives them another class they can take in that area, and psychology and stuff like that too. So it just opens up a few more of those classes for our kids to take, and that's just a nice thing that they offer us with being a small school. We don't have as many electives in some of those areas. If you go in there, our goal 4 there, we have some students who are going to represent our school this summer. Grace Lumen's going to be at the Minnesota Mile, which is helps responsible citizens in their community and schools, and it's a leadership opportunity for her in late June. And then Hayden Stensgaard and Haley Johnson will be our RP, girls and boys state representatives. So again, promote Americanship, good citizenship, kind of some good leadership for our school. Our high school students that have helped out throughout the year, it's always great when they head down and they're helping out in the elementary classrooms, volunteering time, mentoring, stuff like that. Senior awards night, we had the program last night, I put for each of you guys kind of the program for last night, and then all of our awards that were handed out. It's kind of an amazing thing when you look at all the scholarships that are offered and all the people that show up and the new ones, and you just have continual of people that have either went here or know here or business here and just want to give back to our students. So it's a great night with a lot of money being given out to our high school kids. So that hard work that they put in for 4 years is recognized, and we've got our service awards, our lifelong learner awards, achievement awards here at school. We've got some nice scholarships. So just a great night where I think it's grown, Mr. Ayler. I think it's, 3 years I've been here, it's gotten bigger each year, and I can say probably before that it started out small. It just seems to be each year gets a few more. So
We were fortunate last night, 2 new scholarships were presented last night. The Merle and Betty Evenson scholarship is brand new this year, and the Art Miller scholarship was a new one this year as well, so we added those 2 new ones. So as Mr. Tim indicated, we're very fortunate, and our students are the recipients of lots of good generosity by lots of organizations.
a lot of the rest of that, Mr. Ayler kind of talked about with you. Post-prom, we always have down at this year we had it down at the bowling alley again, Nordic Lanes. A lot of parents who dedicate a lot of time to raising some money and having a great night with a hypnotist and bowling, and lots of prizes handed out and stuff like that. So it's a great safe event for our students to do after prom. They kind of stay up all night, and then they get real tired, and they go to Birdie's for breakfast, and then they kind of sleep all day on Sunday. So, but a great thing for them to do for some positive interactions after prom. We had some National Honor Society students who went to the Young Writers Conference. One of them was kind of cool, Andrea Larson, who's a junior National Honor Society, wants to be band president next year. So at the Young Writers Conference, Tom Overlay from KTTC was there just to help out, and she got him to do, she videotaped him and put that she's campaigning for band president. So he kind of did the, I'm Tom Overlay from KTTC, and I support Andrea Larson to be your next band president. So it's kind of cool. She put it out on social media after that, and spreading it around school, and I asked her, she goes, it was really cool. He was like all excited to do it and say that stuff. So kind of one of those cool things some of our kids get to do. Graduation, you guys approved the candidates for graduation. We started at 1:30 that day. I got John and Julie coming to help hand out graduations and shake hands. that day. You guys can just be at the gym about 1:15. We'll have chairs for you up on stage. I'll read names and Mr. Hill will point you in the right direction to make sure that you're shaking hands with everybody. So that's kind of our next big thing that we have at the high school that kind of signifies the end, so.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Kim? Thank you. Mr. Beaverdorf, you're up with the activities director.
All right, I'll try to keep it kind of short here. One thing I do want to recognize though is that we had the opportunity to host the section true team track meet last week. For those that were around, you would have seen 17 buses there, 1,229 athletes, 34 teams, 100 plus coaches, and 500 plus fans. And it took a large number of people working together to make that work, so I just want to recognize and thank some members here, and I'll probably miss some, but specifically Rushford Lions and the Houston Lions, they helped man our ticket-taking tables in the middle of the day. We couldn't have done it without them. Brad Hoynes and Rushford Foods, the RP Booster Club, Colin and Crystal Schrader, and I'll give them special credit. It's one of those things, like if you carry your umbrella, that's your way of making sure it doesn't rain. They showed up right away that morning to set up the awnings at each of our little ticket-taking windows, and if that does it, that kept the rain away, so that was great. And then also our RP staff and the great community members. Everybody all combined to make that such a top-notch event, and we're very fortunate again to host that again next year. Otherwise, my report notes all the special days coming up. A week from now, we'll be starting our softball and baseball tournaments. The seedings will take place, softball this Friday, baseball on Saturday. But the tournaments all start on Monday. Our conference track meet will be on, our conference track meet's already over. Our subsections is on May 26th, and then golf is a conference that is on this Thursday, but it's a 2-day section event on the 25th and May 31st. So that's all wrapping up our seasons all as quick as next week. This is the last week of our regular season. So other than that, I'm going to keep it short. I'll congratulate, I guess, our conference track teams. Our boys finished 3rd in the competition on Saturday. Our girls finished 4th. And they're looking to build on that momentum into subsection. So with that.
Yeah, is there a girls golf team?
There is not a girls golf team this year. Last year we had girls out and had a full squad. This year we had actually no girls go out. So one of those things. So it's just boys this year. They're actually, since you mentioned the boys golf, they're actually competing tonight. If we get a win tonight, we'll be conference champs. But very, very successful year that our boys golf team is having this year. So.
Any other questions for Mr. Beaverdorf? Thank you. Okay.
John, before you move to adjournment, I just want to stress to the board this evening, I did send an email out today extending our condolences and sympathies on a tragedy that took place over the weekend. One of our graduates, a 2010 graduate, Tasha Hansen, was murdered on Friday evening, and I took the liberty to send a note out to our staff and wish to acknowledge that as well. So on behalf of the school district, we extend our deepest condolences and sympathies to the Hansen family, and we ask you to keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Hitter, for that. So the next regular board meeting will be right here on the 20th, Monday the 20th, 2016 at 5:30. And a lot happening in the meantime, and looking for a motion to adjourn.
We should probably, before we make that motion, thank Clara for doing that, because this is her last meeting.
It is, yes it is.
So we should say thank you.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Clara, thank you.
Your
Thank you,
seniors
Clara.
here.
The board.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have you.
And then I'll make a motion.
And I'll second.
Motion by Coe, second by Iverson. All those in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.